Increasing amounts of leisure time, the American public yearned for entertainment. Fortunately, there were several technological advances that allowed families to be entertained at home. One of the most prominent was the rise of cable television. While cable was available in the 1970s, it did not become a household feature until the 1980s. Cable TV introduced families to a much wider array of viewing choices. Teenagers could watch the latest popular music videos on MTV or music television, while those seeking information could check out the around-the-clock news coverage on CNN, the cable news network. Sports-minded viewers could tune in to the sports network ESPN, while children were entertained by Nickelodeon. Cable television also brought rise to children's daytime programming. Every day after school, kids would rush home to watch the latest episodes of G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and the Real Ghostbusters. Each of these programs had a successful line of toys associated with them. In fact, this type of programming often received criticism, as many adults believed that these shows were nothing more than half-hour-long toy commercials. Network television still provided countless hours of entertainment for families in the evening. The most popular television programs included hour-long dramas such as Dallas and Dynasty. The Dukes of Hazzard, Magnum P.I., and Murder, She Wrote were also highly popular programs. Miami Vice, while only cracking the top 10 in ratings one year, 1987, had a significant impact on men's fashion in the late 1980s. Several half-hour-long situation comedies were also popular, including Family Ties, Who's the Boss, and Growing Pains. The most popular program of the decade was The Cosby Show, starring Bill Cosby. The Cosby Show topped the ratings chart every year from 1985 to 1990. Despite the popularity of television, many families were also going out to the movies in the 1980s. Raiders of the Lost Ark made Harrison Ford a box office sensation and established Indiana Jones as a legendary character. Eddie Murphy also emerged as a rising star, featuring in movies such as Beverly Hills Cop and 48 Hours. Other popular films of the decade included E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Ghostbusters, Gremlins, The Karate Kid, Back to the Future, and Top Gun. A number of comedy films, such as Caddyshack, Stripes, Porky's, and Police Academy, became classics of the genre. A rivalry also developed between two competing horror film franchises. Each year, except for 1983, saw a new Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street film, as Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger became iconic characters. However, Americans were no longer restricted to just watching movies in the theater. The video cassette recorder, or VCR, allowed families to watch movies in the comfort of their own home. Video cassette rentals became big business during the decade. Families could see a movie just months after the film had left the theaters. Additionally, the VCR allowed people to record a favorite television program so that it could be viewed at a later date. Handheld camcorders also made it possible to record birthday parties, live performances, and other events that a family might want to remember. Video games moved from the arcade and into people's homes in the 1980s. The Atari 2600 was the first video game system that most families purchased. While the system was available in the late 1970s, it became a staple of family entertainment in the early 1980s. In the latter half of the decade, the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES, redefined the video game. Many iconic video game franchises began on the NES, including Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Mega Man, and Final Fantasy. By the time the NES was discontinued in 1995, nearly 62 million of them had been sold.